Akumau mau. Akumau mau pa. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai ka iki mai luna mai. Ona mea huna no awe mele e ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai ka iki mai luna mai. Ona mea huna no awe mele e ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai. E ho mai ka iki mai luna mai. Ona mea huna no awe mele e. Kakaiaka koma mai. Good morning and welcome, Unity of Kona. And as we start here accepting the Hawaiian culture to the Unity of Kona, we present the Aomai prayer chant. The Aomai, the A is a beseeching. The Om is the Great Spirit. Mai is our ancestors. As we beseech our Great Spirit and our ancestors for the wisdom. Done in octaves is the chant. The first octave is the stories being told. Why would we be telling these stories to our children? A higher octave. And then the highest octave, beseeching them all for the wisdom of our life experiences that become our stories. With this knowledge, we never have to repeat anything over and over again. For Aila A comes the dawning of a new day, and every day we get a chance to do better in our lives. And so it is. Mahalo ke akua, and welcome to Unity of Kona. And now I'm going to pass the platform off to Sasha as she's going to do an opening prayer for us. Thank you, Sasha.
Good morning. And now we'll start today with a prayer. And we're going to say, Divine Spirit, we are so grateful to be here this morning. Help us soften our hearts, quiet the noise, and become open to whatever is here for us today. May we recognize the love, the lessons, and even the unexpected gifts that are already unfolding in our lives. Guide our words, our thoughts, our hearts, and remind us that we are never walking alone. And so it is. Amen. And I would also like to say a little prayer, a big prayer, and big love for Elaine right now, who is undergoing surgery as we speak. She's one of our members who does a lot. She leads the choir, and we just want to hold her in light and healing and that all goes well in her surgery this morning.
Thank you, Sasha. Yes, our hearts and our love is with our Elaine this morning. So welcome. I'm so glad to see each of you this morning to Unity of Kona. And I would ask you if you would please stand and say with me the mission statement and our affirmation for the month. There we go. Divine love guides me to see, hear, and honor the sacred in everyone I meet. And our vision statement is a world family of oneness, peace, and love. And our mission statement to inspire spiritual growth and service through the active practice of love, prayer, faith, joy, and honoring everyone as a child of God. Now, if you'll stay standing, we are going to sing our opening song, New Beginning. And the people that are, yes, the choir that's here is going to come and help us.
I've been here before. Echoes from years ago. Trying to break the patterns to find peace of mind.
You gotta forgive us.
Lost our
More
music.
than half of our choirs
Take
are lead songs.
Here we go. Let's try this one more time.
Feels like you've been here before. Echoes from years ago. Trying to break the patterns to find you're on your way to better days. You're breaking away. This is your new beginning. Walk through the door and keep on living. You can shout, you can cry, you can melt and say goodbye to days before that left you spinning. Yeah, this is your new beginning. Taking time to heal your wounds. In your mind, flowers start to bloom. There is beauty in owning your past. You are free, make the good times last. You can't stay. You're on your way to better days. You're breaking away. This is your new beginning. Walk through the doors and keep on living. You can shout, you can cry, sing it out and say goodbye to days before that left you spinning. Now this is your new beginning. Be kind to yourself when you fall back. You are not lost. You are right on track. Words to be traveled.
Your survival. Here we go.
We only sing it every week.
This is your new beginning. Walk through the door and keep on living. Now you can shout, you can cry, sing it out and say goodbye to days before that left you spinning. Now this is your new beginning. Your new beginning.
Boy, we sure missed the Wahinis.
That was rather low singing, wasn't it? Okay. You may have a seat. We'd like to take, yes, we are trying our best. Yes. And that is always good enough. Our best is always good enough, right? Yes. But we'd like to take a moment to welcome anyone that's visiting. If you haven't been here for a long time or if you're brand new, we would love it if you're comfortable by standing and telling us your name and where you're visiting from. Okay, we're just staring at you for, because... Oh.
This is Reverend Deb's family, guys. So let's welcome them for sure. Let's all give them out a great big aloha.
We're so glad you're visiting. It's so good to see Rev Deb's family. We just love it.
What a cutie.
For you that are newer, our Rev Deb was our minister for many years, and she passed. And we still miss her. She was wonderful. We'd also like to recognize the people that are watching us on YouTube or however they're watching us. So be sure and leave a comment so that we can also welcome you. We're so glad everyone is here. So let's just take a moment and move around for 2 minutes and greet each other and get to know each other a little bit better. Okay, as we all find our seats again. Okay, we're going to have more fellowship upstairs after service. So if you could all find your seats, that would be fabulous. Thank you very much. Okay. Now we want to make sure everyone's welcome by saying together, aloha and God bless you. You may be seated. Thank you. For our announcements today, we always like to remind you that prayer is very important to us. We believe in prayer. And if you have a prayer request and you would like support in that prayer, we want to support you. So there are some prayer request forms on the back table. You can fill it out, put it in the prayer box back there, and it will be prayed for. Your request will be prayed for here and then sent to Silent Unity, where it will be prayed over for 30 days. So it's very exciting. You can also reach Unity people by downloading the free app, Be Unity, and you can contact them anytime you want to. So anytime you need some support, you can. Okay, to finish out the announcements, I asked Vince to come up and read those announcements. And while he's coming, I'll tell you, I understand that there are tons of mangoes back there, and we want you to take all you can use, okay? Because I hear there's more coming next week, maybe. So, come on. Okay, Vince, thank you so much.
Okay. Good morning. So, announcements for August 23rd, 2026. Team member of the month and mahalo is Tani Golden. For your loving service, thank you for your loving service to the Spiritual Center. We are blessed to have you at Unity of Kona. Tani serves as the treasurer on the UK Board of Trustees. She brings food for fellowship, helps set up for Circulation Day events, and helps with other U of K activities, and as she is able to. Tani, you are a bright and shining light, and we are grateful to have your spirit of aloha and your loving service. We love you, Tani. And Elaine Alberson is our board member of the week. Elaine is our board secretary. Feel free to discuss any questions you may have with her about spiritual community. We are holding an online auction. I'm having a hard time reading. One of my lenses is missing. It's difficult to read with one eye. So, but I'll figure it out. We're holding an online auction. Bidding starts on Saturday, August 22nd, and ends Friday, August 28th. Check your newsletter for more details. Monday evening from 6 to 7 p.m., Dondi leads the ukulele jam sessions here in the sanctuary. And Tuesday, August 25th, Clyde leads our drumming circle at 6:30 p.m. Bring a drum or a shaker, and there are some to borrow. For a regular weekly and monthly events, there is a flyer on the small table at the back of the sanctuary. Feel free to pick it up. And it takes a village to support our spiritual center and Unity of Kona. Depends on each and every one of us. Please consider volunteering just 1 to 4 hours a month in any way you feel served. Sign-up sheets are at the back of the church, and your support is essential. And mahalo from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you, Vince. And now Tom's going to come forward and read our daily word.
Our focus is radiance. Aligned with my divine nature, I am a beacon of light for others. God is the light of my life. I give thanks every day for the wondrous blessings of the divine and the peace and strength I derive from my faith. I am a spiritual being, fully human and fully divine. The light of God shines from within me. My confidence grows as I embrace my divine nature. As I live and love more fully and authentically, the joy within me multiplies and I become simply radiant. The world can feel dark and dull and needs all the light and sparkle it can get. As greater numbers of people discover the power of God within them and express the fullness of their true spiritual selves, the world will glow with our collective radiance. And from 2 Peter 1:19, we have, you will do well to be attentive to this as a lamp shining in a dark place until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts. And together, let's do our affirmation. Aligned with my divine nature, I am a beacon of light for others.
I love that. We need all the light we can get, right? Yes. Okay. I just want you to invite you now to take a deep breath, relax, plant your feet on the floor, close your eyes, and just visualize our sanctuary as a beautiful, beautiful, loving heart. Feel the loving energy of those around you flowing in and through you. See that loving energy flowing around every person here in the sanctuary. And spreading out to every person, every being on this earth and in this world. And if there are any events or circumstances in your life or anyone you know in need of prayer, see them in the center of this most beautiful, loving heart. As we see Elaine in the middle of this loving heart, as she's in the hospital right now, we will say the prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yes. Okay, the choir's going to come and sing Love. Oh, one person's going to come, as in Dante. Dondi. I have a son-in-law, Dante, and so I get those two names mixed up all the time. Dondi is going to sing L-O-V-E, Love.
Yeah, we're missing the choir. So you kind of all have to forgive us. We kind of all everywhere. Yeah, nobody's around here to help. So anyway, with this month, with all the talk about love and everything else, I couldn't think of a better song than Love. So. Is for the way you look at me. Oh, it's for the only one. Thank you.
That was awesome. And now it's time for our dear, dear Sasha, who always brings enthusiasm and fun and positivity to our platform. And she's the daughter of our Rev Deb, whom we love. Come forward and do your message. And it's on Love's Unexpected Teachers.
Well, good morning. Again, I'm so happy to be here as always. I'm going to move this to the side. That's okay. All right, we're going to start this and we're going to say good morning. And if I'm not mistaken, didn't my mom ask you to sing the first song when you're really nervous to sing in front of the congregation? This was a long time ago. So gosh, Rev Deb is so present here today. I mean, she always is, but I think, of course, having Kainoa and Sabrina and Harley in the audience, and then you chose that song. Anyway, I'm asking for her guidance to speak today. And it was kind of a bumpy start here this morning, right? We had a lot of people aren't here that helped to make our choir go, but you guys, we did it, right? We made it through. So thank you everyone for being here. As always, I'm really honored. It's an honor and a privilege to speak here, and here we go. I'm going to dive into it. How was this week for everyone with all the storms, with last weekend's storm, with the approaching one? Did anyone? I know I was paying a lot of attention to the weather just because of my work. That is the question I get in the concierge office. What's coming? What's changing? What's open? Where can I go? And somewhere in the middle of it, I started to think that life has been teaching me all this week, life has been, I just started to get a little sparkles, like I'm getting a migraine, and we're not going to have that. We're going to have that go away because I need to read my paper. So it's been an interesting week. It's going to be this unexpected teacher, and I'm going to lean into that. But that's what this talk is about, Love's Unexpected Teachers. So before I go any further, I want you to think about your favorite teacher. Can you pull up your favorite teacher from school? Maybe you can still picture them. Maybe you can remember something they said to you, or maybe you can remember simply how they made you feel. Okay, favorite teachers are a little bit easier to remember, I think. But now I'm going to make it a little more interesting. Now I want you to think about a teacher that you didn't really care for, that maybe wasn't your favorite, maybe was a little difficult, and maybe if I'm being completely honest, they were a little bit rotten. Do you have that person in mind? Does anyone have a teacher that they had? I hear a couple, Now here's my question. Can you think of something that teacher did teach you? Maybe not necessarily math or English or language arts, but maybe they taught you something about yourself. Maybe how to speak up, maybe how to treat other people, or maybe even more importantly, exactly how you didn't want to treat other people. Because when you start thinking about that, you realize that not all of our teachers are people we would have chosen as teachers. And that's what we're talking about today, unexpected teachers. And I've had some incredible teachers in my life. My mom was an incredible teacher for me. And those are kind of easy to lean into, and we know those teachers. But what about those person that challenges you, who misunderstands you, the person who wants to an answer to that you don't have, the person who sees things completely different than you do, maybe even the person who pushes the button you're pretty sure you had already worked through, those teachers. And some of our unexpected teachers aren't even people. Sometimes it's changing relationships, sometimes it's disappointment, and sometimes it's even uncertainty. And apparently this week it was a lot about the weather. I know that sounds silly, but that was my experience this week, which led me into really cultivating this talk. And what if some of these people and circumstances that stretch us aren't interruptions to our spiritual practice, but what if they are our spiritual practice? Oh, but what do you mean, Sasha, when you say this? Well, I was in the concierge office Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and yesterday. So right following the storm. And I'm at the Fairmont Orchid, and we had quite a lot of people. What can we do? What roads are open? At this time, I still didn't have electricity, and it was interesting to have people go, well, where can we go? Well, what is the park open? And it was so much. It was like this intense energy. And I just would remain calm, and I'd look up what beaches and all of the things that we could do. And I completely understood why they're asking. They're here on trip. They're here on vacation. They love Hawaii, and they want to experience its beauty. And I wanted to help them. I would check the forecasts. I would call the tour companies to see what's running. I would give them the best information I had. But there was one thing I couldn't give them, which was certainty, because I didn't have it either. And somewhere in the middle of all this, I had one of those moments, we want someone to tell us everything is going to be okay. Does anybody else feel like that? You want to know everything's going to be okay. And it really always is okay, but it might not exactly happen how we think it will. And we want to know that relationship's going to work out, the job's going to work out, our dream is going to work out. Just tell me how this is going to end, and then I'll relax. That's how I felt in the office today. Tell me which day. Which day will it be sunny for me to go to Volcano? What do you mean I can't drive that way? What do you mean I can't do this? And so it was hard. I couldn't give certainty, but I did my best in this. But it was a bit challenging, and I felt tired within it. But maybe the peace isn't always found when we finally know what's going to happen. One of the books I've been listening to is The Game of Life by Florence Scovel Shinn. She has the same birthday as me, but she was born like 100 years before me. But it's an old book, but it's a little gem. It's kind of allowing the teachers when co-founders Charles and Myrtle Fillmore she was in the same realm as them, or teaching, should I say. And she explains that the Christ within that she calls the superconscious mind is what fights our battles and relieves us of our burdens. She describes a burden as an adverse thought or condition that we keep carrying and trying to resolve through the reasoning mind. Her words are beautifully simple. I cast this burden on the Christ within, and I go free. So it is a lot of older language in this book, but what I got from it is she has lots of examples. And so she says, I cast this burden of lack on the Christ within, and I go free to have plenty. Or I cast this burden of resentment on the Christ within, and I go free to be loving, harmonious, and happy. She says that when we cast the burden onto Christ within, it is made light or dissolved. So I picture this challenge being dissolved because I'm very visual. So I picture actually handing this challenge. So when I was sitting there with a woman yelling at me that she could be in Cabo instead of here, and I literally pictured handing this challenge, and I'm not putting her down. I realized she was very stressed. It was a stressful weekend last week, and I understood, but it was a very hard position. So I pictured handing this burden or this challenge to a ball of light, whether you call it the Christ, Spirit, love, whatever you would like to call it, and I would be handing it over. Please help me with this. I hand over this burden to you. And I'm not sure, but magic always happens. A little bit of softening always happens. And I might get the right words to say or the right guidance or the right comfort in that moment. And I kept practicing that. So that was an actual visual tool, and I was grateful for reading that book because it works on everything. Whether you're having a challenge with work or friendships or relationships or whatever that burden might feel, we hand it over to the light so that we can continue to find our center and move forward with grace with whatever situation we're having. Is that a good tool? You want to try it? I like visual, so it's like a visual thing that I can do. And then maybe I will know the next loving thing to do, or maybe nothing outside immediately changes. But I have come back to my center so I can move forward. I'm also reading simultaneously another book. I go back and forth. And this one is called The Gap versus the Gain. Have any of you heard of that book? I thought I had written down the author here, but it is not. I will come back to it. I think it's Dan Sullivan, and I'm sorry for not honoring that. But he talks about measuring your progress backward against where you started, not what your ideal is. So it's always looking at how far we've come versus the gap, which is where we're thinking where we need to be and how much more we have to do. But instead, coming from a place of positive, which I feel like aligns so much with unity here. Because so often we measure our lives where we think we should be. That's the gap. What should have happened? What we thought someone else would do? How far along we thought we'd be by now? How we thought the story was going to go? And uncertainty can pull us into this gap so quickly. We start thinking, this shouldn't be happening. I should have an answer by now. I should know what I'm doing. The person should understand me. Have you ever thought that or felt that? And boy, I caught myself in the gap this week. So I had that tool that I would use, and then I would remember, look at how far we've come and what information we're giving or where we are. Focusing on the positive. I'm also cleaning out houses, lots of movement in my life now I have 3 kids living off of this island, only 1 here, and a moving of house coming up, so I'm cleaning and sorting 30 years of children's stuff and letting go of Halloween costumes that I've saved for all of my children. Why, I'm not sure, but I did. I've saved so much, every artwork, everything. And then I was really saying, why haven't you gotten this done yet? Why do you have tubs of things? Why haven't you gone through your mom's things yet? Why haven't you sorted through? And instead, I shifted that. I was in a really bad mood. And I called my son who was here, can you please help me? We have more to do. And I was not in a good space. I was really upset. And I had to remember, I was like, you just listened to that audiobook as you were driving here today, talking about focusing on how far we've come. So I have done 10 dump runs in the last 2 weeks. I have 15 bags of things I'm getting rid of. I have made progress, but yet I was thinking, look at what I haven't done. Why have you let this go on for so long? And I was stuck in the gap, but I had to easily come back to the gain. We can all do that at any moment. So whenever we're stuck in what we haven't done yet, where we haven't been yet, what's not going right, we can always pull it back to right now and think of how far we have come. It's really nice. I think I've talked about that in one of my last talks was about changing the lens of which we're looking through, and it's very similar to that same concept. We can always look at things from different angles. And if you focus on what you lack, you lose what you have. If you focus on what you have, you gain what you lack. That's an exact quote from the book. And I'm going to say that again because it really helped me get through so much of this week. If you focus on what you lack, you lose what you have. If you focus on what you have, you gain what you lack. Because the gain doesn't require everything to be resolved before we can recognize that something good is happening. Yay, God. That's what my mom would say. Yay, God, all the time, because we have to acknowledge the good, and then that creates more. We can still be in the middle of the storm and recognize the gain. We can still have an unanswered question and recognize the gain. We can still be figuring out a relationship, a dream, a job, our health, our next step, and recognize the gain. Sometimes the difficult situation doesn't give us the answer. Sometimes it shows us how far we've come. And when I stop staring at everything that isn't finished yet and turn around long enough to see where I've been, I remember I may not know exactly where I'm going, but I am not where I started either. And then moving on to those teachers that stretch us. Are we ready for this one? And they're not always carrying a spiritual book and speaking softly. Sometimes they're irritating. Sometimes they're demanding. Sometimes they're absolutely convinced they're right. And sometimes we're absolutely convinced we're right. And sometimes everybody is just having a very human day. I remember a work relationship that really stretched me. There came a point when I knew I needed to make a change and set a boundary. And I wish I could tell you that in that minute, I finally did it. I walked away feeling completely empowered and fabulous. I didn't. I was scared. I questioned myself. I wondered whether I had handled it correctly. I wondered whether I had done the right thing. And looking back, I realized that person became an unexpected teacher for me. Not because she was necessarily a bad person, not because I needed to make her wrong in order for me to be right. She taught me something about me. She taught me that sometimes doing what's right for me doesn't immediately feel comfortable. Sometimes courage feels uncomfortable. Sometimes a boundary disappoints someone. And sometimes disappointments doesn't automatically mean my boundary was wrong. That was a big lesson for me. And I've been trying to remember that when someone stretches me now, instead of only asking, why are they acting like this? I'm asking, what is mine to learn here? And I want to be clear about something. This doesn't mean everything someone does is okay. It doesn't mean we tolerate being treated poorly because we're trying to be spiritual. Sometimes that what is mine to learn is patience. Sometimes it's compassion. But sometimes what mine to learn is to speak up or to trust myself. And it's okay to say no. That was a big one also for me this week. Now, what about another uncertainty, another challenging, maybe, so to speak, person is when someone sees life completely different than you. Have you ever come across anyone that doesn't quite agree with your values or your beliefs or all the things that you do? Have you ever felt really clear about something? Just a knowing inside? Yes, this matters to me. And then somebody else is equally certain that they know what's best. I learned something about this years ago through my son, Pohaku. He's my beautiful son who at 7 years old was diagnosed with autism, well, Asperger's then, on the autistic spectrum. And when he was younger, there were meetings. He's beautiful and incredibly smart. I hate labels, honestly. But when he was younger, there were meetings and teachers and educators trying to decide what was best for him. He'd be off track in class. You know, they'd switch something and he wasn't quite finished with his picture or math, and he'd maybe start flapping his arms. Sometimes he might be doing a bear crawl across the floor because he had just started football. So he thought that he could do that instead of doing math, which was very distracting, rightly so. So we started having lots of meetings. And in one particular meeting, they encouraged me to put him on medication. And I remember sitting there feeling very alone. I want to be careful here because this isn't a story about medication being good or bad. Every person is different, every child is different, and every family has to make those decisions. But the lesson for me was something else. I remember sitting in that room and feeling something rise up inside of me. This is my son. Half of these people haven't even met my son, but they want to make decisions about him because he's in this category. And these people may know things that I don't know, and I can listen to them and I can learn from them, but I also know my child, and part of my job as his mother is to advocate for him. Looking back, those teachers taught me something they probably never intended to teach me. They taught me to trust my own voice. And it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy to speak up when I had educators with degrees and all of this to say, it doesn't feel right for my child. I respect you and I honor you, but this is not right for him. I'm going to go this way. He's a wonderful young man. He's 23 now. We've made it through, but it wasn't easy. I felt very alone in those moments, but I had to trust that inner. And I wasn't sure if I was going to share that story. I was on the fence about that all morning because it's really personal. But sometimes that teacher is the moment when somebody else's certainty makes us question our own knowing. And I had to really know that I had to really lean in. And at that time, I did have my mom. And I had a wonderful spiritual support that I could turn to and to help give me encouragement, even when I thought I was so alone in this moment. Have you ever felt that way where someone else seems so sure that they know what's better for you than what you feel for your own self? Maybe it's something you want to create. Maybe it's something that you want to change in your life. Maybe it's a dream that doesn't make perfect sense on paper. Something inside of you said, yes, this matters to me. And then someone you love or respect doesn't understand it. Maybe they're not trying to hurt you. Maybe they genuinely believe they're helping. But suddenly that beautiful little yes inside of you gets quieter. Has that happened to any of you before? Yeah. And I can still trust that little voice inside of me. because sometimes an unexpected teacher is simply someone who sees our life differently than we do. And maybe their role isn't to prove us wrong. Maybe it's here to ask myself, how deeply do I trust myself? I've been learning to create a little space before I answer that question, and I call it the sacred pause. When someone's opinion makes me question something I thought I knew, I don't have to immediately defend myself, and I don't have to immediately abandon itself either. I can pause. I can go quiet, and I can ask, is there something that I need to hear? Is this fear talking? Theirs or mine? And underneath all that noise, what do I know? Sometimes the answer is they're right. There's something here I need to look at. And sometimes the answer is I don't know yet. And sometimes after I've really listened, that quiet voice inside of me says, keep going. That's the beautiful thing about trusting ourselves. It doesn't mean believing we're always right. It means trusting ourselves enough to listen, discern, and then choose. I think there's something sacred about that. I brought a little gift for us today. Is this not such a pretty packaging, right? Not really. And so I've been thinking how we expect gifts to arrive. Maybe we expect it to be something beautiful. So this isn't that beautiful, but inside of it can always be the lesson. And it might not be wrapped perfectly. Sometimes presents come beautifully wrapped, and sometimes they don't, but we can always look for the lesson in everything. Thank you. Thank you for listening and even walking through me as I had an aura migraine, but I made it through. So thank you for letting me. Yes, it's always a joy to be here.
And it's always a joy to have you, and we appreciate that message very much. Thank you. So now we're going to take our offering, and we're so grateful for anything that you can give to help support our ministry here. And there's many ways you can give. Those are lifted up on the machine. Yes, and that while the ushers are coming forward, the choir or somebody's coming forward to say, I believe in music. I believe in music. And you can look on page 9 and you can sing along. Okay, we'll pray first. Okay. Together, divine love
through me
blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am abundantly prosperous in every way.
And so it is.
Yes.
I know that they're asking that we all sing this song, but the words in the book is a little bit different because the choir decided to change the words, and I don't have the change of the words, so I'm going to sing it the way it's written, and you can join me in the choir, in the chorus. I could just sit around making music all day long. Once I make my music, can't do no wrong. And who knows, maybe I'll make a song. Makes people want to stop fussing and fighting long enough to sing along. I believe in
Okay, we'll bless it with our offering blessing. Through Spirit, we know that as we give, so shall we receive. We dedicate and consecrate these gifts to do your will and your work in this center, in our lives, and in our community. And so it is. Yes. Thank you. Our guest speaker next week is Kealoha. He always comes on the 5th. Whenever there's a 5th Sunday, he always comes and he gives us some insight to the Hawaiian ways and beliefs. It's always very interesting. And his topic will be forgiveness versus ho'oponopono. And I've just learned about ho'oponopono, and I love it. I use it all the time. It's amazing. It's just amazing. So it's formats for releasing and letting go. So I know we're all going to enjoy that. So be sure and come back and hear that. Thank you for joining us today. We're so happy that you came. And right now we're going to join our hearts together and our hands. And we're going to sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth and Aloha Oi. We're going to just get in a circle right behind the cameras. And minds in thought, faith and love. Let's continue on until we meet again. Aloha.
Aloha. Oi. Aloha. Oi. Eke ona no ikaliko. One fond embrace. Oi, ai, au. Until we
Ahui-ho and aloha. Thank you, everybody.
Don't forget the mangoes.
Mangoes and fellowship
Come and
upstairs.
fellowship upstairs.
All right.